that is, and the fact that as a moderator I'm an elder of the church, there's going to be more responsibilities undoubtedly on the shoulders of elders, and I hope the fact that this year we've got an elder as moderator will give a great source of encouragement to elders up and down the land.
And we talked there, Reverend Michael Mayer, about using new technology, but we've talked in the past about the Kirk trying to appeal to new people and to younger people, and sometimes it's felt it's somewhat stuck in the past. It took a small step towards conducting same-sex marriages, but that's still unlikely. It's still likely to be years away. Do you feel that the church needs to modernise and modernise faster?
I mean, I think, the church has been on a trajectory when it's in relation to same-sex marriage, and the decision they took at this year's assembly just pushes us further along that road. I understand that for lots of people that the church is not moving fast enough. I also appreciate that there are those in the Kirk who will feel that this is another step in which they think is the wrong move, and it's holding those two things in tension that's one of our challenges. I know that there'll be many really looking forward to the day they can stand with people and celebrate the love that they have for one another, and I'm looking forward to standing with them as well. But we need to do that in a way that takes as many people with us as we can.
And I suppose, Jim Wallace, a lot of people maybe don't appreciate, they think of the Kirk and they think of those church buildings and maybe don't always think about the outreach work, the care homes, etc., and young people getting help with addiction.
That's absolutely right. I mean, Crossreach, which is the social arm of the church's work, I mean, through the pandemic, they were very much on the front line, and sadly even lost one of their employees. They were distributing PPE to, I think, 52 different geographical sites in Scotland. There were, a real commitment to compassion and caring. But quite apart from the pandemic and their caring, particularly elderly care, they do work to try and support and help young people who are beleaguered by drug addiction, and also children who have been in care to make sure that they can lead fulfilling lives. And I think that sometimes is a bit of the unsung work of the church. And I think we've got to do something about proclaiming it more, because I think people will recognise that the church has got a very relevant message to some of society's biggest problems.
Let me thank you both for joining us this morning. That's the moderator of the General Assembly of the Church of Scotland, Lord Jim Wallace, and also Michael Mayer, Minister of St David's in Ayton.
5 to 9 now, and it's the one where they all get back together. 17 years after the final episode aired, the cast of Friends have finally reunited. Their highly anticipated reunion special is now available to stream, and it sees all 6 of the show's original cast members back together. But was it worth the wait? Well, the entertainment reporter and TV critic Emma Bullimore has already watched it. And Emma, what did you think of it?
It's really fun. I think it's really important to emphasise that this is not another episode. They're not in character. This is those 6 actors going back to the set and just having a chat, really, remembering the good old days, revealing a few secrets as well. So I think some people will inevitably be disappointed. There are no massive revelations. But it is lovely. If you're a fan of this show, if you wanted to feel like they are good friends in real life, that comes across. And it just gives you a little bit of a behind-the-scenes flavour of what it was really like to be on this show that has meant so much to so many people.
Yeah, what were the standout moments that you think the fans will really enjoy?
Well, there's so much going on. There's little skits and there's celebrity cameos, and James Corden is doing an interview with them at one point. But the best bits are when it's just the 6 of them looking into each other's eyes, getting a bit emotional. I like the little stories they came out with. Matt LeBlanc dislocated his shoulder in one of the scenes, and they show that footage, which is a bit gruesome, but it's, I never knew that happened. He also talks about Courtney Cox writing her lines on the table in Monica's flat. So that's, I'll forever be watching now, trying to look to see if she's looking for her lines. Little stuff like that, little tidbits. Like I say, it's almost 2 hours of telly, but it's not a massive, ridiculous kind of warts and all documentary. It's really just a fun trip down memory lane. So some people will say, is it worth it? But I think for fans who really love the show, it's just a lovely excuse to revel in that nostalgia, really.
Is it enough to keep the fans happy, though? Because so many of them want another series or a film.
Yeah, I think people think that they want that. I think it's the case of be careful what you wish for. So many times you've seen shows come back and they don't quite capture the magic of the original. And I think actually looking at the six of them together, having aged a bit or having tried to use forces to stop aging, it just shows you how far we've all moved on. And actually Friends is one of those shows that had a beautiful ending. Everything was wrapped up nicely, and I think, really, do you want to revisit that? They all say in this special that they have no interest in going back. They love the memories and they love talking about it, but they're not going back. The creators of the show say the same. So I think we've all got to accept that there's no more from those characters, even if we do get a bit more from the actors themselves.
It's interesting there, you're talking about the fact that we've all moved on and everyone's aged a bit. Do you think the actors and the idea of Friends has aged slightly better than the programme itself? Because there are some of the scripts there that would not make it onto telly today.
To some degree, but I think that's just quite a popular story. I see that written up so much that millennials are shocked by it, and these are old-fashioned attitudes. I've been rewatching it recently, and I see the point. I definitely see what people are talking about, but actually, people still love this show, and new audiences are coming to it every day. You know, it's still always one of the most watched shows every year on Netflix or whatever platform it's on at the time. And I think it's just that simple appeal of six really good friends, really good characters that are flawed but are human, are recognisable, living this life where they're looking for love, they're looking to get on in their careers, and they're relying and falling back on their friends. It's a kind of irresistible idea. These are idealised friendships, and who doesn't want a piece of that? Again, with six really fun, funny actors that you can't help but love. I think it's actually just as popular as it ever was.
Emma, thank you very much indeed. I, for one, will be trying to find that somewhere on the streaming services, wherever it is. Emma Bullimore there, the TV critic. It's certainly definitely part of my student years.
Yeah, you see, it's funny, just because I'm a few years younger than you, it wasn't quite the same for me. Sorry, did I say younger?
Could you be any funnier, Gary?
Now, stay with us here on BBC Radio Scotland throughout the day. Hayley Miller and Barry Stewart are here at noon with all of the day's developing stories. On Lunchtime Live, they'll have the latest on Matt Hancock's statement to MPs, which comes later this morning.
I'm just trying to think which character you were. Definitely Ross, probably. Yeah, thinking I'm Monica. On the afternoon show, Grant Stott talks to Keith Fleming of Outlander fame and River City's Charlene Boyd. They'll be discussing the Macbeth, which is the world premiere